this back. See what Riser has to say about him this time.
Yeah, I don't know.
It seems like you prefer to just see him in the suicide role in the end.
Yeah, he's pretty good 1v1, especially
Yeah.
against melees. And with pulled regen, does fine, but his early game is not the strongest compared to some of the other preferred melee strength heroes.
Mm-hmm. Back over here to the Legion side. There's that engineer pick.
Somebody
Out.
had to get him.
Somebody was bound to. I mean, no doubt engineer just scales very well into the later game, and the ultimate's always useful and great for team fights. I also think Andromeda, though, is a kind of another one of those heroes that just scales. She's one of the best scaling supports, in my opinion, as far as the late game goes, but we just never see her. I think it's safe to say probably because of her laning presence, ultimately maybe fairly weak as far as her range and whatnot, but I don't know. Do you think Andromeda could be seen more? Or?
I think so because of the more popularity with tri-lanes and just the roaming supports. I've seen Team SR utilize her a couple times, and she definitely has a place in this metagame in terms of the early game roaming aggressiveness. But like you said, we only saw one support hero usually picked up to go with that jungler, just not the strongest hero lane in mid. Her stun is actually a fantastic stun early game. Obviously, it has the maximum stun time at level 1. Short cooldown. The mana cost isn't too bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, definitely has some tools, but yeah, just the auto attacks, their short range is probably her downfall in the last metagame at least.
Pharaoh picked up. Tempest was the pickup by Pain Train, so Pharaoh, a decent hero against Tempest, of course. So probably some thinking about that there. With the Pharaoh response, they got their solid suicide option. Perhaps their mid lane set up with Engineer Monkey King as well. We'll see how they finish up, but we're going to have to go through another set of bans. The final pick, though, from the Hellborn side. There you go. It's going to be Bubbles. A pretty AoE-centric team coming out here.
Seems to be their kind of game plan almost. Maybe they had this mindset going into the draft. Magnus, Tempest, Bubbles, just mass AoE.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised to see them pick up a hero like maybe Torturer. I think Pyromancer would be good as well to help, depending on where they want to lane. Their Magnus, Pyromancer could certainly help him. In terms of his weakness in the laning phase, Pyromancer is fantastic support here for that. But of course, Torturer synergizes quite well also with all their AoEs. So I'd like to see Tord or Pyro picked up by the Hellborn team, but we are going into the banning phase, so we'll see if they make it through the banning phase.
That's the next goal now. 6 bans in total, so there's a chance it could be taken out. Going back to Andromeda, yeah, I got to bring this up. We saw, no secret, I'm watching the TI3 as well, as I'm sure a lot of other people are. Of course, our good friends Fnatic, they not only did they have an awesome day #1, but they actually ran a farming Andromeda. Of course, Vengeful Spirit in that game, but Arrow was playing Andromeda and actually farmed with it. It was actually pretty entertaining to watch.
Did they do it? I didn't see the game. Did
They were in tri-lane, yes.
Oh, okay.
And he was a
that kind of makes
priority.
sense because she could definitely be very powerful in that tri versus tri situation.
Well, again, with her ability scaling, I think it's safe to say, ultimately, yes, her ability, she is just better support with that said, but she actually has potential to be a carry, doesn't she? I mean, is that safe to say?
Yeah, I mean, obviously her abilities help scale, significantly. Of course, her range is very minimal.
Yeah.
That could be the bit of the downfall, but yeah, I've seen some other Dota teams, I believe, utilize that strategy before. I think KP with Eternal Envy, they played like a short lane VS, and he was 1v1 against like a Clockwork, I believe, which is equivalent of Pharaoh and HoN, and definitely dominated his lane. But in terms of insight or why they do what they do, you'll have to ask Fly, because I couldn't tell you.
Hit him up and see. I will say he ended up going to Staff of the Master that game, so
Really?
he didn't necessarily build into carry. I think it was because mainly the circumstance of how it ended up being played out, but he ended up going to Staff of the Master, had a 10-second swap, so was more of just a big initiator in the end, but it still was an interesting idea to work with. But anyways, we're moving along here. We got the banning phase, Torturer, Fate, Aluna, and Nymphora. Keep of the Forest, Pebbles, and then there's Sandwraith being first picked here.
I actually like the Sandwraith pick. If you think about it, all these Hellborn teams, Hellborn heroes so far, are going to be relying on probably on a portal key to set up all their AoE abilities. But if you can, initiate with Pharaoh, then Sandwraith ult, especially if he does end up going for Mock. Even if he doesn't, you know, the auto attack from the illusion is enough to cancel that portal key. So perhaps a bit of a counter pick coming out here for the Legion team.
Yeah. Empath, leads you to believe they are right-clicking Chronos, actually. Yeah.
Well, this empath could have also been denied the Sand Wraith empath combo, which
Okay.
is
Yeah.
really hard to deal with sometimes.
That's annoying. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bit of global presence, so they have to go with Sir Bensington now because
Mm-hmm.
he's great for that.
Or Ravenor.
Could. Or Ravener, yeah. Actually, one of their players, it was actually Xiao Xiao. He actually had Ravener played, I believe.
I think Ravenor owns though. I think he does like a gazillion damage.
Yeah, that's right. He did get changed, didn't he, with the patch, too, and it amped his damage quite a bit, so there's this guy, the top guy. Flux is the final pick. They got the NG Flux. All right, so they're going to go that route. That could definitely work, too. How are they going to lane? Okay, this is going to be a... Whoa. Now I'm actually confused. What are they going to lane? How are they running
support Flux?
Is it? Yeah.
It's going to have to be.
Huh. Well, that's cute.
So like a second support Flux kind of played like, he could get his portal key eventually, but I've seen teams do this before. It did not end well, but we'll have to see. It's kind of interesting pick.
Yeah. Back over.
I definitely like their team fight. If they can pull off their lanes, I think going into the mid game, it's definitely the late game, they're going to be quite well off if they don't lose the lanes too badly. And looking at the Hellborn's team, they don't have that strong of laning heroes, so I think this could be a solid draft for the Legion team.
They go with Gemini in the end, as far as their final pick is concerned. Okay, maybe you can answer this. I assume she just pops out, but if Gemini splits up with Empath when Empath is on him...
There's a fire and an ice empath. The game closes.
The game closes.
Yeah.
It just
and
shuts
you get
off.
two naked empaths on your screen. They're both red and blue.
Well, that'll escalate quickly.
I actually think when he splits, she just falls out.
Yeah, she just falls off. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's obviously still a hero that she can synergize very well with. And that is, of course, their carry of choice in the end. Okay, we apparently need a remake here.
Remake? I thought it was just a bathroom break.
We're trying to swap, so...
Grim.
Might be a little bit, as I believe one of the players also going to be using the restroom, unfortunately. So, I have to wait this out. But, Gemini, man. Gemini... Pee-wee made Gemini come back to the competitive scene. I think it's safe to say. And I don't even know why I said come back. He never really was on the scene before, but...
True.
He really did work with that hero at DreamHack. I mean, was that fun to watch at DreamHack? And do you think?
Oh
Gemini,
yeah. See, I have a story about this game.
Okay.
It looked like SG was losing really hard, so the rest of my team was sticking around because they really wanted. Everyone was tired, but they wanted to see this because SG was losing. And then when it looked like SG was coming back, they're like, "All right, screw this, we're leaving. We're going to the hotel." And I was like, "No, guys, I'm gonna stay here and watch." So the rest of them left. I stayed, and then VDT won. So I just rest of the night I just hounded them how they gave up hope.
Gave up hope for them.
I stood strong. I stood strong. So
Yes, you
yeah,
did.
I mean, Gemini definitely did a ton of work that game. I think just specifically in that game, there's a top team fight where Magnus just absolutely annihilated them. I think he was kind of the MVP of that game personally. But,
Yeah.
Gemini definitely ended up going like immortal or something crazy. So.
Yeah, he did very well. He ended up
fun
playing
to
him a
watch,
couple
though.
times in the group stages, I believe.
Yeah, the Monkey King.
And that too, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Gemini, I mean, again, with the scale potential, with that with the new passive, it is obviously that was changed in the runic shift patch, and it's insane seeing how he can have like 500 movement speed with a Frostburn and an Energizer. I mean,
Yeah, that is. I noticed that too.
He's
just
very,
walking
very
around.
quick with minimal
Yeah, I mean,
items.
he's
So
pretty good. I like his skill set going up through. I mean, I think he has like a place throughout the entire game. I think early game his spells are useful. Mid game, unless he's pretty farmed, it might be hard for him to survive in team fights. And then of course late game, if he's very farmed, he can dish out like a ton of damage. Gets that shrunken head as well, and he can do work. So he's got a place throughout most of the game. Like I said, there is kind of a point where if you whiff your stun. And you're not that farmed in the mid game, it's quite easy to be taken out. But barring unfortunate circumstances, I think has a place throughout the whole game. As long as he can get that early farm, I think, in maybe the safe lane, which is pretty important.
Yeah. And like I said, they are back in the... Okay, so we jumped in here. Yeah, actually see Pika Curdy making a point right there.
Oh, did they random it?
We didn't... They picked it. I did check for that because I noticed time was low. I could have sworn I saw it said picked, but I think he's making a point that they were kind of like hurried at the end and they went with him. So
what are the rules on this? Do they get to...
It's up to RPTM ultimately. If RPTM says no, you got to go with him, then you got to go with him. But if they're like, whatever... I mean...
What if they said they didn't say anything except for GG's, etc. in all chat? Would Remake be allowed?
Oh boy, that's some fun times brought up there. Yeah, I mean, RPTM's being nice about it. They're basically, it's fine. If you wanna change your hero, by all means, feel free to. But
I mean, it was the final pick of the entire game. So
yeah,
so it's not. They could have changed anything.
It doesn't, yeah. But in the end, time is there for a reason.
But it is definitely a nice gesture by them.
Yeah, but yeah, good gesture, as you said. But they're gonna go with Gemini in the end, so no excuses.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they just went good.
So Gemini picked up here again, and gonna be swapped around. We'll see if they can actually the swaps off this time, and then we'll be jumping into our game. But yeah, you made the point about RPTM, and I definitely agree. I mean, they know how to have a very strong team, especially when it comes to team fight. But in the end, it's how are they going to lane, and can they pull it off when it comes down to it? I mean, this is a very strong team over here on the HoN side. Now, Empath Magnus is kind of an awkward combination now that I really think
about it. Yeah, I think if Magnus is mid by himself, actually do okay, get some farm and get some levels, then Empath can babysit top, and they'll definitely be okay going into this throughout the laning phase. So I'd like to see just like an Empath, Gemini top, Magnus solo mid, of course your obligatory Tempest jungle, and then Bubbles bottom, I think would be their best bet. Now remember, Tempest does not have that deny anymore, so Bubbles might have a bit of a rough time without the deny in this bottom lane. As long as Sandwraith and Flux can maintain lane control, it should be pretty easy to keep this Bubbles out almost indefinitely. He does have a ton of reach, though.
Who's that, Bubbles?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. 9 Jeez.
Yeah.
He's going to clear out the forest down here.
Yeah.
Top lane, you see, going to try to catch anyone looking for some ward of sight placement. Pharaoh and Engineer up here. So that's going to be an interesting lane. Long lane, Pharaoh, Engineer. Can't say I saw that one coming.
Doesn't
I don't know if that's going to be the case.
Ideal to me.
Probably going to end up going back to mid, yeah.
I mean, I like the dual lane, long lane when you're up against Keeper of the Forest. Not Tempest, though.
So Flux is going to babysit Sandwraith, however. That, too, is actually very interesting. The Flux babysit. Huh. I mean, it seems like he could be pretty damn good at it, to be honest, so.
Yeah, for sure. He's very hard hero to man up on.
Uh-huh.
That's for sure. But, yeah, I think it's going to work here. I mean, just because he's in this short lane, he should be able to get some levels and maybe a little bit of farm, and then should have no problem keeping Bubbles out also. So, I remember once when I was playing with, I don't know if we were still Frey or TT Esports at that point, but we were playing with, when I was playing with Slicks, and he said you could pretty much put any hero against a suicide Bubbles to keep him out. I think one time we picked support Pestilence and just had him keep Bubbles out. But this is unfortunate. This is what I was talking about. They already may have lost lane control here. The Archer was killed, unfortunately, on the Hellborn's team, so we'll see if they're going to have to do some hard denying here from Sandwraith in order to get this lane back. It could be really big trouble for them.
Yeah. Flux, in the meantime, though, he is doing his part, boxing out Bubbles, of course. He actually does good the release first. I was interested by that. It seems like Magnetic Surge might allow you to get a little more harassment off in the end. As Bubbles is doing a good job of keeping his distance as expected, so I don't know about that choice, honestly. In the end, though, not the biggest deal in the world, but it seems like the lane positioning, Sandwraith is trying to do his part to keep it hard denied and at least somewhat back. But it is slowly getting pushed up here, as you're talking about.
Yeah, they screwed this up.
Yeah. So, was that well played by Bubbles, or was it just simply a screw up from the Legion team, you think?
I wasn't really paying most attention to what happened, but I don't know if the lane got blocked perfectly by Bubbles, or maybe Flux was chasing bubbles and accidentally aggroed the melee creeps, and they ended up hitting the archer because of when they reset. That was the closest thing to hit. I'm not really sure, but certainly something you never want to happen.
Yeah. So how about this decision? They end up going the engineer top with Pharaoh. He is not going to be babysitting Monkey King in the middle lane. And you see right here, actually, jungle coming in from Tempest. Pharaoh is in trouble. Gemini already going to the wall off right there on a Pharaoh. And he will fall. Pinky Curdy playing the Tempest. Actually getting credit for the kill. Monkey King in the meantime in the middle lane doing some pressure to Magnus, but the Lava Surge comes out. And he will be fine. So, yeah. Pharaoh gets ganked. Engineer, not much he could have done right there.
Yeah, it's not really his fault. It's just well played by Pinky Curdy. Actually, ooh, middle lane. Hasted Flux.
Yeah.
Gonna come help assist for the kill of Magnus, but I was gonna point out that Tempest actually opted to get the level 2 Glacial Blast instead of Elementals, which you usually see the Elementals farming, but seeing as they have a 3v2 situation up here, with that level 2 stun, it's usually pretty easy to nab some kills, so I like the decision there. He actually is gonna lose quite a few of his Elementals farming here, so
Yeah.
bit of a misplay there, but he ended up getting that Bloodlust, so shouldn't be the end of the world for him. But yeah, this is kind of the downside of seeing those two heroes long lane, especially without any, good escape mechanisms, or maybe, a Plague Rider with the deny. It's just, this usually does not end well. There's a reason people don't do this.
Well, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, in the end, Engineer really isn't doing anything, and then on top of this also opens up Magnus here in the middle lane to allow him to at least get some decent last hitting. Now, sure, he did die, and no doubt Monkey King can definitely box him out himself and actually do pretty decent. But it's Magnus is 12-7, Monkey King's 12-3. So if Engineer was here this whole time, you gotta think Magnus would not be nearly as successful as he was early on. So yeah, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense here from the Legion team, unfortunately, when it comes down to the lane setup. But even despite that death, and maybe we can try to make a little bit of a comeback here at the top lane, and well, if they get a kill, then definitely could be worth it. But that's a big if right there.
It's gonna be hard for this lane to get a kill on Gemini. I mean, I feel like if Empath plays right, he's not gonna get close enough to get walled in and comboed, and then Gemini can simply just jump out. So, not a whole lot of kill potential here for the Legion team. I like this ward that Engineer did end up placing. It gives a lot more information about when Tempest is coming. Unfortunately, Gemini is gonna get initiated on here. Remember, he has to jump. He actually is gonna man up for a second here. And barely survives. He almost got a little greedy there, manning it for a second. Almost cost him his life with that level 2 rocket. So good pressure from the Legion team at least, but looks like Tempest is deciding to rotate back up here, and now they're gonna have to play more passively for sure.
Yeah, if they're not careful here, they could be in trouble. But there's that ward of sight that you're talking about. It's going to spot both of them. They will spot it themselves, however, with a good rev ward placed down, and they will counter. So now the Legion team is going to be blind, and this is where if you're Engineer and Pharaoh, you're like, okay, well, now we're a little bit more scared. Because we don't have that vision anymore, and the lane is pushed up, and they know Tempest is nearby as they saw him defeat the ward just prior to that. They're going to run over and see if, maybe steal some creeps right here. Don't get that one. Don't get the Minotaur, and the Gotar is also killed by Tempest, so... And they can't even get any of the Elementals in the end. That's unfortunate. They spent quite a bit of mana right there trying to do so. Didn't do it. Back to the middle lane. The Magnus actually Lava Surge at the same time as the Heavenly Vault and actually mitigated the damage from happening. That was a little bit awkward right there, but Monkey King with that double damage rune trying to play the aggressive that he can and do some good damage to Magnus, but in the end, Magnus staying alive. Monkey King, though, 295 gold per minute. Sandwraith is having this free farm at the bottom lane, too, so obviously that's where the Legion team is still fairly happy with how this game is going. But the Hellborn team, you got to think they're going to be the ones to making the moves a little bit earlier on here in this game. As far as getting aggressive, perhaps. Start with the level 6
Bubbles.
bubbles.
Has gotten so many levels in this bottom lane. It's really unfortunate. I mean, Pharaoh and Engineer are doing okay up here. They've only died once at least, and are getting some decent farm, but as I say, that Engineer is going to get caught up by the wall here. There's the Q from Gemini. Doesn't really have range to stun yet. He's just going to choose to go in aggressively here, and he's actually just going to opt to jump out. So perhaps Gemini could have backed off and then gone for the stun. I don't know.
Yeah,
it is kind of awkward.
That stun is very awkward, yeah.
Yeah.
So, not able to get the kill in the end. And also, support playing that Empath for VDT, especially with DreamHack as bottom lane, by the way. Bubbles in some trouble right here. He is Shell Surface on cooldown, and he will fall at the end. Sandwraith going in for the kill, and I didn't really catch where he Shell Surfed and why, but got to question that a little bit. Middle end in the meantime, Elemental Boy goes out, the eruption on top of it, and Monkey King could not get away from that. So good collapse right there, and great movement from Tempest. As we always talk about coming in the middle lane, and not good news at all for the Legion team. The fact that your Monkey King now also got skanked there.
Yeah, and Pharaoh could be going down here as well. An excellent wall blocking him off. At least he gets the wall mummies off in the meantime, but Engineer was just simply not close enough to assist. I think he went to go buy, looks like he went to go buy a ward, maybe a health pot, so he will eventually fall. But yeah, I've been pretty impressed with Pinky Curdy this game. Excellent movement, setting up ganks well, just continuing to maintain his farm as well. I mean, he did get that Bloodlust kill and just got an assist, so that might inflate his goal per minute a little, but still, can't argue with 400 GPM.
Mm-hmm. Monkey King has had his comments this game. I don't know if it's just misplays. Oh, okay.
Yup.
That was fast. This hero, man, it's just ridiculous.
Sometimes
what he can do. It really is.
I can agree with you there.
Magnus is in there with like more than half alive, just like okay, whatever, and then all of a sudden, a second later, he's dead.
Yep.
Oh, Monkey King. So Monkey King getting some revenge with that said. Jumps back over the 300 gold per minute mark. We'll see if he. We see a lot of this. He goes to the early Grave Locket here. We'll see if an Energizer perhaps is early on for him as well or not. But
yeah, I'm not. I mean, I played this hero a little. I used to play it a lot. I had like a Monkey King phase. I'm not that experienced with it.
Yeah.
It was kind of before the Grave Locket Frenzy. I assume it's just for the extra mana, so you can. I mean, you have like 3 spells that you cast like 800 times in half a second. So, perhaps that's the reasoning behind all the early stat builds people are so fond of. Makes sense to me. So yeah, Monkey King and Sandwraith are having a great time in this game. I mean, unfortunately their bottom lane didn't go that well, but Sandwraith is still farming pretty well, up to about 50 creep kills in 8 minutes and 40 seconds. Not bad, not perfect, but pretty solid.
Yeah, and he actually gets the Soul Scream ring delivered right there. So Energizer going to be coming up for him. Obviously the Iron Shield on top of that, so it's going to mitigate a lot of harassment damage in this laning phase. Back to the middle lane, Magnus again being comboed on, but Monkey King running out of mana, although he did have a regen rune, so that's why he chose to play aggressive initially. So Magnus does need to be very careful right here. And we know that Monkey King, he can go very deep quickly as far as diving with that tower. So Magnus, even behind the tower, got to be a little bit worried. Actually, Sandwraith is going to port it in the middle lane. No, he's going to port it to the bottom lane, actually, onto Bubbles. Going to go for the kill. Kelfo comes out, though, and Sandwraith will have to cut through the trees and fall back. So I thought that might have been trying to set up a gank at the middle lane, but he actually was trying to kill Bubbles. Bubbles a little too slippery, though, and able to escape. So not successful there. Tempest, 390 gold per minute, man. 2,100 gold saved up. Is he going straight portal key? I mean, I don't think he is, but he has the gold saved up like he might be. There he is. Okay. What do you think?
I've kind of gotten out of the straight portal key phase. I feel like getting more build-up items, like getting your boots and, well, your upgraded boots rather, and like the Astrolabe is usually a lot more effective. But hey, he's got a 10-minute portal key. Let's see what he can do with it.
Well, that's the thing. As we always go back to the portal key specifically, it's okay. You got this now. Make use of it, because if you're not going to make use of it, then it's you can argue that it's pretty not efficient item to pick up. Middle lane is where they're going to go for, so this could be a chance. Magnus does it right here. Tempest comes in. Is he going to Elemental Void? No, he's not. He chooses not to. Engineer coming in as well. Is he going to use it now? No, he's not going to. Not wanting to use the Elemental Void. He's getting gone on, and he will fall in. Magnus does it. Gets the stun right there on a Monkey King. Eruption going off. Not a range. Oh, nice stun from Empath coming out, though, with the Essence Strain. And Engineer also going to be picked off in the end, so they ends up being a 2-for-1 exchange. But it seems like that could have all been prevented, and at least got the cone of Monkey King if he just wasn't afraid to use the Elemental Void right there.
Yeah, I don't know why he hesitated. I don't know if they knew Engineer was already in there or what, but it seemed like a pretty clear, clear-cut gank. Magnus stun ult, then Elemental Void. They did that earlier.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not really sure. A little hesitation there for sure, some misplays, and yeah, that could have gone disastrous if Impact did not arrive at the time he did and stun Monkey King while he was hasting away, because I'm about 90% sure that he would have just ran away from the eruption.
Oh, yeah.
So, well played by Empath there. at the end, preventing perhaps a disaster.
Yeah, the Essence Leak stun. I mean, not many times you get to see that being a huge play like it was, but Flux, in the meantime, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble as well as Monkey King down here. Flux gets his release off, bubbles up to the back with the countdown, but a one cost right there. The elemental foil. It will lock down Sam Wraith and Monkey King. Do they have enough damage is the question. Sam Wraith, he has that Desert's Curse up. He's going to walk right up to the wall. While he's doing some damage, he will survive at the end, though. And now here's a response. Monkey King going back in. Down goes Tempest right there. Magnus just out of tower range. He's going to be invis in the Steam Bath. But is he going to weigh? There's the stun from Pharaoh coming out. Hellfire is applied. He stuns away, though, himself with the Lava Surge. Monkey King thinking about chasing. Not long enough, though. And Magnus going to regen with that bottle. But obviously an exchange working out very well in favor of the Legion team right there in the end. So the Portal Key Tempest, he's the idea is there that he's trying to be really aggressive with it. But kind of both time, even the middle lane, I mean, it's just not working out the best so far for Tempest. And actually Gemini at the top lane dropping a little bit. He's going to be fine, though.
Yeah, just not really making it work. That was quite the dive on a tier 1 tower. And who did they killed someone, I believe. They killed an engineer, right? But they lost 2, so definitely not worth it. Losing 2, and the engineer is the only one to fall. So yeah, when you dive a tier 1 tower like that, expect the ports to come out for sure. And they just looked a little like they didn't have the best initiation there, but there comes Monkey King. He's going to get initiated on here. He's trying to get the counter kill on the Bubbles, and will he? Bubbles shell surfs out just barely. Oh, big play by Bubbles. He's barely going to live from the turret, but yeah, the stun out from Magnus, and he will be fine. And Monkey King, with the assistance of quite a few heroes, will finally die.
Well, he did use a
kelp. That hero's so hard to kill. He's got 1,000 health, and you know, Ghost March, he's not that squishy, but look how difficult it was to finally bring him down.
Yeah, it's just because of how to see moves so much like that. But it was a kelp field used at the very end to actually kill him. That's what killed him right there. So they did use a bit once again, but in the end, it also was another great play. Honestly, this Empath really continued to be pretty impressive here with another great Essence Link stun when it came down to it. And also, I meant to bring this up earlier, but obviously support from VDT. Great Empath player. It was a lot of fun watching him play, and especially even after that, you know, I noticed more and more that the Empath, the way they position their walls is always a lot of fun. And, you know, at that angle of it. Gemini, in the meantime, he will Twin Fangs away. All the rest of the Pharaoh just going to miss as well. Gemini barely escaping right there, but he does escape in the end against Monkey King and Pharaoh, so he is happy with that. But yeah, my point would just be, it's just fun to see the angle of that Empath wall and how effective that is, because it forces them to run all the way around most of the time, rather than a flat wall that is usually a little less space, depending on where you are, using it with a cliff and whatnot. So, but
yeah, definitely a spell with like a ton of potential. It's a very long cooldown too, so not very forgiving if you have a poor wall placement. So yeah, it can be like a huge, you know, it can make some pretty big plays with that illusory veil. And if you screw it up as well, you don't have access to it for quite a while. So yeah, I kind of agree. I think we're seeing more and more Empath after DreamHack. It's becoming more popular, especially with all these kind of like Sand Wraith Predator heroes becoming more popular as well. It synergizes really well with them.
Yeah, she's definitely stepped up in terms of that role goes. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, once again, Monkey King being jumped. A great Twin Fangs. Oh, but they get pushed away right there. What? That was Flux. Okay, I'm like sitting here, what the hell just happened? Of course, Flux pushing them away. Monkey King will be fine for now. Pharaoh comes in. The Mummy Walls are up, as well as Sam Wraith. Magnus still with the Lava Surge. Here goes the chase on the Magnus now. As another great Twin Fangs, though, from Gemini. He needs to be careful, though. He is low on life. Nuke from Pharaoh right there with the 20-minute soul. Not enough for any kills, though. So definitely had to think about that for a second, but obviously Flux right there helping us save his teammate initially with that global presence. Yeah.
That was crazy. I hadn't thought about that at all. So seeing the Magnus stun ult and then of course just pushing him away minimizes that eruption damage because it obviously does less damage the farther you are away from Magnus. So yeah, big play from Flux. This support Flux kind of worked, kind of didn't. He needs to get some more farm here because ultimately they do want him, I believe, to have at least him or Engineer to have that portal key at some point. So we'll have to see if he can recover a little, but right now he doesn't really have all that access to much farm. Didn't get, I don't know how much stacking and pulling he did. Probably not very much, unfortunately. So
see the Hellborn team right here. They want to keep some action going even. As they all port down here to the bottom lane. Obviously Tempest has that portal key. There's the blinker right there on his Samwraith. No ultimate's going to be used. Media's put down. Still no ultimate. Shellsurf coming out though. No port, though, and Samurai's going to be fine for now. Empath off to the side, blocking off the support. But they had a chance to go all in on Samurai right there. They chose not to, however. They could still have a chance. No, but he's going to be too far away in the end. And instead, they're going to go for the tower. Magnus is actually still chasing, trying to see if he can get a range for Lava Surge. Look at the Legion side. They've been just retreating this whole time. And actually, Monkey King is going to kind of push the middle lane. So, big chase right there by the Hellborn team. And it may end up in a tower kill. But again, a lot of resources used, a lot of time used even. Doesn't result really in the most right there. And they're actually going to lose their middle tower as well. So,
if they can get a tower kill themselves. End of the world. See the Flux pull actually used in there to get Tempest. Tempest is in a lot of trouble. Could turn this around with the Ultimate Void and some TPs, but Monkey King gonna catch him eventually. And yeah, Hellborn team not interested, unfortunately, in assisting. I don't think they have a whole lot of TPs on their team currently, so not able to assist the Tempest. And then yeah, that Flux pull definitely catching Tempest off guard pretty considerably.
Yeah, obviously that on top of Samurai porting in and the quick slow on top of it. So definitely. Setting up that kill very easily, and you know, I hate to say it, but I don't think this portal key has been the best investment here for Tempest.
I really would like seeing like an Astrolabe and tablet command, especially versus Pharaoh.
Yeah, true.
Having the tablet versus Pharaoh is very important.
Very true. Yeah, so it's doesn't seem like it's working the most efficient for him as he planned. Again, it's not that he hasn't been trying with it; it's just it hasn't been paying off in the end. Gemini also, he chooses to go a Firebrand first. He actually doesn't even go the Energizer. It seems like we see that a lot on Geminis especially. Go the Energizer first to really help with that move speed and just, you know, great item, build-up item in general. But he goes the Grave Blocker here, and then he goes into the Firebrand. I don't know if that is going to end up being a Frostburn or not, but we'll see.
I don't have that much experience with the show. I know the bottle is actually really popular on Gemini because you can send your guy back, and he gets a full bottle and comes back, but perhaps not as great if you're in that safe lane position, but I kind of would like to maybe see in the Searing Light build even, just for some extra farming power. You see Initiation in the middle lane, Bubbles getting caught out here, there's the Kelp field, and will he escape? He has a Regen Rune Wrath of Pharaoh though. Will barely catch him and finish him off, so nice pick from the Legion team. But in terms of Gemini, usually you like to see like some kind of farming mechanism on, like whether it be, I know Pewee was fond of the Null Stone just for, you know, the infinite mana, and then obviously Searing Light offers a lot of mana and farming potential as well. So, yeah, perhaps a bit of an unconventional build right now. And yeah, I also agree with the Energizer synergizing so well with his Elemental Force, the extra movement speed you get from that, plus the movement speed you get from the agility from the Energizer. Seems like a no-brainer for them.
Well, it seems like that's also the team kind of being on different pages. I mean, with the build that he's going here, it's not as Energizer could definitely entice him to be more aggressive with the team. As far as having the Energizer, you know, being able to use it while chasing and whatnot, going into those big fights. And they no doubt have been looking to be very aggressive here early on, especially with the first item portal key on Tempest, and it just simply were not able to obviously connect that all together. Now Magnus, he does eruption on the Ancients over here. He's going to clean them off, and this will get him his own portal key, so that's going to be good news for the Hellborn teams, and they have a couple of initiation tools now. With that said, I believe we just saw a Shrunken Head finished, however, by Monkey King, and it looks like it is being delivered.
He's really well actually this game. He's got almost 400 right now, so him and Sandwraith definitely doing quite well. I mean, Legion team definitely has some mid-game presence as well to deal with all the AoE. They've got the Flux NG combination and then Feral to disrupt a lot of things, including the Tempest, who it looks like he's rushing straight for a Shrunken Head now, which is certainly going to be pretty useful versus this team. It's not that useful though. I'm not really a fan of Shrunken Head this early without any other build-up items this game. You know, if they had no cancel for his ultimate, I would be a little more inclined to say it's okay to, you know, go for the Shrunken Head portal key rush, which sometimes we do see, but with the Pharaoh, it's just not as effective. I just would have still liked to see more like Tablet Astrolabe, then maybe build into the Shrunken at that point with, you know, the upgraded boots, maybe the plated greaves this game. There's a lot of physical damage, or the even the steam boots would have been fine.
Yeah, the more and more thinking about it, I mean, Samurith is also another candidate where Tablet just seems like it could be a better choice against him than a portal key, because the cancel effect of Samurith using his ultimate, and when you try to portal key as soon as he ultimates, obviously you can't because it'll do damage to you. So Yeah, and the more and more thinking about it, this game's developing, it seems like Pinky Critty got really greedy there with that very early portal key pickup, and again, it just hasn't been paying off at least as they'd like. Now, at the same time, they still have a golden experience lead overall, and actually pushing the middle lane right here. Gemini leading the way, and they do get the tower call. Monkey King having a little fun, showing off a little bit in front of them.
He doesn't even know what he's doing.
Yeah, I don't think he did. He was all over the place right there, but nothing happened.
Yeah, they can get this kill on Sandwraith, who is farming the bottom lane before he gets his mock. He only needs 400 gold, but yeah, he uses wisely. I think he just saw bubbles with that ward, so he's playing pretty safely here. He does not have a homecoming stone, so he's going to pop the ult, perhaps for some scouting, or actually initiation in the middle lane. Bubbles getting caught, and Gemini is pretty low. Does have access to his jump. There goes the jump. Empath going to jump in to barely escape death, and here goes the team fight breaking.
Oh, the Tempest trying to ultimate right there, get in position, trying to get close enough. We see the counter eruption coming off, a big one, and there's the elemental, but it does get Pharaoh coming in right there. Hellfire will cancel it, and Tempest will fall in the end. Magnus is also going to go down, so a turnaround chance there somewhat for the Hellborn team. It looked like it might have been able to work somewhat with the kill on the Sandwraith and eventually Pharaoh, but just too much from the Legion team. They got the jump initially. Gemini was caught out from the beginning with that Wrath of the Pharaoh. The Mummy Walls trapped 2 or 3 heroes in it seemed like. And obviously it just worked out that much better for our Legion team right there. Flux also pulling them in to help start that all off. Of course, helping on top of it. So team fight a little bit stronger for the Legion side. And they're also going to get a tower kill out of
Monkey
it.
King is just doing so much work. He's level 16 now and just has access to that level 3 ultimate. Just going to be Monkey King around everywhere while he's the golden Monkey King also with that shrunken head. So yeah, definitely doing work right here. And yeah, I kind of agreed with the Hellborn. They were pushing that middle lane Ask 5, kind of seeing that this game isn't going that well, and I think they're going to be in a lot of trouble late game versus a farmed Monkey King and Sandwraith versus perhaps just the Gemini. Now they do have, you know, the Wombo combo if they can use it properly, but Tempest is up against the Pharaoh, remember, so if the Pharaoh plays his cards right, it should be very difficult for Tempest to get, you know, a full ultimate off. What is this? Skeleton King above the... Okay, there was like a Skeleton King that must have gotten Monkey Kinged up the cliff. But never mind. Wasn't that interesting.
What is this area? Never been up here before.
Yeah.
Pharaoh, the Shaman's headdress, barrier idol, definitely in the works there. Obviously, the mock was able to be finished by Sandwraith, even with him dying there. His team doing good enough in the end to help get in some gold overall and push him over the limit of buying the Mock of Brilliance. So he has that mock now with the Energizer Steam Boots build up. But that's the thing, it's not just him. A lot of times with Sandwraith lineups, you see it might just be him, and he's leading the way for his team, and they're just trying to buy time for it and eventually get there. They have a Monkey King that we keep going back to. With a Shrunken Head, a Soul's Bulwark, they're going to look to clear out these double-stack Ancients once again on their side. He's level 16 on top of that, and he stressed that last fight too, how important that Shrunken Head is on Monkey King, and how much it allowed him to just have free reign in that fight. In fact, the damage chart, yeah, no surprise. He has 17% overall of the hero damage done currently in this game. So Gemini doing his part. Frostburn picked up 1,800 more gold saved up. He looks like he too could be going straight for that Dawnbringer here. And you know, it's a great item on Gemini. I think there's no doubting that, but it's the best choice here is what I'm trying to think about actually. I mean, it is a good pickup, so I would have liked to see the Energizer though, I guess.
He doesn't really have any farming tools right now, so I'd at least have one. Usually when you get in that free farm position, you've got at least one. I mean, not every hero opts to go for that. Like, I do talk about the heroes that just get their core items and go fight a lot, but in this game, this hasn't been that active of the games we're used to seeing. It's kind of more of a farm war, and Gemini, unfortunately, is falling pretty far behind without having anything to, you know, boost his farm as considerably as, say, like a Monk of Brilliance or just Monkey King. Of course, being Monkey King, all he needs is a bottle, it seems like, to get 500 GPM. So.
So he does finish the Dawnbringer. His movement speed, again, it's pretty impressive. 467 movement speed right now when he finishes that Dawnbringer. So he will definitely be running very fast, but will he be able to do enough damage and do enough for his team in the end to help pull them through? This goes back to this is a very AoE-centric team, and they kind of showed that last fight. I mean, they tried to connect it together. Magnus alone was able to do quite a bit with a good Eruption initiation. But if they can line up the Kelfield Eruption, the Tempest Ultimate, of course, then by all means they can win that. But, of course, it keeps going back to the fact that it is a lot easier said than done. Especially with Sandwraith, Monkey King flying around with that Shrunken Head. Flux, he's been playing that secondary support to his best. He's got Steam Boost Power Supply. No portal keys still coming up just yet for him, but He is getting there. I mean, 930 gold saved up. We'll see if he's just going to be saving up for that. And he's level 11, too, with that said. So cooldown getting decreased slightly, as well as the units, the amount of range that they get pulled in.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of hit or miss, but I think he's made definitely some solid plays with his ultimate, especially to make up for perhaps not being as useful as a support hero as we might see, you know, because if he doesn't land like a nice ult or somehow get into the middle of a fight and land like a big release on a couple heroes, he's not going to offer that much in terms of usefulness in a team fight. But this game, he's had definitely some good usage of his ultimate, and being able to get in there and cast some of his spells hasn't been the worst. So he's definitely done okay. So support Flux, maybe not that bad in the end.
Well, we saw right there, he actually tried to pull in Gemini, who was porting out right there to maybe get a range for a teammate's stun, but of course the port still goes through. Even with that pull in, doesn't do any type of stun. So Gemini does get away in the end. And I also want to go to harping on Tempest for this early Portugal you pick up. I mean, you also got to look at Bubbles, honestly. It's actually Monkey King in the meantime in the middle lane gets jumped on, but he just wants to respond, actually. Sarith ports in as well. And here we go with the Legion team. Is there Sarith there? Yes, the real one is actually there chasing down Magnus. The Desert's Curse. Not going to be any counter kills, however, in the end. So they did get an ultimate used by Sandwraith, and you know it's a short cooldown, but shorter cooldown. But it will be down for another 80 seconds here. So this is definitely a timing for the Hellborn side, actually. And
Monkey King currently out of mana. Or maybe try and take a fight. They are pretty low. It is kind of risky to go into this fight, but yeah, if they want to make something happen, now is a pretty good window. Perhaps not the best with all of them being so low, but looks like they are kind of just retreating right now to farm. So yeah, if they wanted to do something, they would have had to commit to it very quickly. I think at this point their windows kind of ran out.
Yeah. But so Magnus does go to the tablet after the portal key. You know, that's great there that they had that again for several purposes. And on top of that, though, Bubbles, you could argue that he definitely should have gone the tablet first himself, too. And mainly just because of just that Sandwraith effect. How it can be very difficult if Sandwraith ultis first when you're trying to jump in, and the portal key basically becomes useless for you. I mean, it's still a great item in the end, sure. And it can still set up kills, but, you know, tablet's great not only just to kind of get around that, but on top of it, obviously always Pharaoh effect and helping to get teammates away from him, Flux from pulling in your teammates, so there's just many, many purposes that Talbot might have been more efficient for now. He might be working for one now, just like Magnus did, but...
Yeah, I agree. I think Tempest going for that portal key first is a lot more game-changing than Bubbles going for the portal key. The portal key is still okay, just for setting up kills, and, you know, he can take cover and try and use it at some point, but... Yeah, I kind of agree. I think Tablet Command could have been a little better. Blink, not the end of the world first, though. But yeah, on Tempest, though, on the other hand, I think his item choices are a lot more relevant to how this game has been going.
Oh, this is going to be close. They have Sandwraith the ultimate. They're doing Conquer. They're pretty committed here. They're all kind of in the pit now. Portal key just used by Bubbles right there. Is it going to happen in time? Gemini has Empath inside. There's initiation. No, there's a pull-in, actually. His cover's not taken yet. Gemini jumps back in. Pharaoh comes in there. Who got the token alive? It looks like Gemini did in the process. And the Tempest ultimate going to be a full duration with that shrunken head up. It will lock them down. Same with the Monkey King, though, still alive. Monkey King in the background doing his Monkey King thing, jumping around. Magnus will fall right there, but Monkey King does go down. Gemini coming back up with that token alive and now chasing down Engineer. Engineer is going to fall. And a genocide in favor of the Hellborn team. So they lose a token of life, but it was used, and it was used very well there by our Hellborn team. Damn, that was close.
Yeah, 2 buybacks used, I believe, by the Hellborn team. I think Bubbles and Magnus did buyback. I think Pharaoh might have panicked there a little and felt like he had to initiate with that Wrath of Pharaoh to try and stop them from finishing up Kongor, but Kongor was pretty much dead at that point. It was kind of up near who would get the token. Like you said, Gemini ended up getting the token, but I think if Pharaoh had been a little more patient and canceled that full duration Tempest ult, instead of just jumping in there immediately, the fight could have been different. I don't know if they would have ended up winning, but yeah, I think maybe a bit of misplay there.
Yeah.
Pharaoh.
A little bit of just going in a little too overzealously. I mean, yeah, it was so close. It is one of those split-second decisions. You're in the heat of the moment. You got to go at that split second if you're going to go. So felt they had a chance right there to go in, and obviously did not pay off in the end. They lose a tower kill out of it. Get away, however, Empath is going to get jumped right here. she was still hanging around to
Poor
maybe try to
Empath.
keep
I think
Magnus.
he respawned and came to the fight. But oh, and Magnus actually still being pursued here. There's the keg. Gonna dodge it with the lava surge. Will he be able to escape? No, he just burns from the Monk of Brilliance. But yeah, I was kind of chuckling because Empath, I believe, just ran to assist his team, and by the time he got there, they all
I'm here, guys.
Converged on him. Yeah, that sucks for him. But yeah, pretty good defense from the Legion team. They did kind of commit to that tower and got it, but paid the price with at least 2 deaths, Magnus and Empath going down. So tower kill in response by the Legion team happening right now. Magnus does have a buyback, but it will be his last buyback, and this is only a 2-2 tower, so probably not worth it in the end. We'll have to see if the Legion team decides to just continue to push.
Yeah, they are looking like that is going to be the case here. Whether or not Magnus will use the buyback is the question. As you mentioned, his final buyback. It's so difficult to use it in this place, but he does have Eruption. They are pushing in. Energy fielding even means there's a pull-up for Flux. Tempest completely locked down. He goes down. Magnus is back, though. He's channeling up the Eruption in the background. He's going to be going all in. There he jumps in, but Shrunken Heads are up. It looks like Samurai does get a Shrunken Head. Flux is going to fall. Pharaoh is going to go down in the background, and now Monkey King and Samurai trying to stay alive right here. Engineer picked off with Bubbles pointing back in. There were several more buybacks. As you can see, Tempest and Empath even buying back. Monkey trying to get away with that Nimbus Cloud. He does heavily vault over the ledge, and that probably is going to be the difference. They are chasing, but the Nimbus Cloud just a little too fast, and Monkey King will get away. So both teams trying to bang on the door there, go to get into the other one's base, but both teams end up defending one another, and now once again a response.
A way better trade for the Legion. Oh, just the amount of buybacks used by Hellborn. If you just look at the tab,
yeah,
it just looks almost empty. And then Legion, of course, has all of theirs. I think every single player, if they choose to, can buy back. Only 10 seconds left on NG and Flux. Of course, 20 on Pharaoh. And this is going to be decision time. Are they going to buy back or not? Pharaoh, I believe, just did, but this Rax is being pounded on. And here we go.
There's initiation. Samurai going to Monkey King as well. Gemini trying to port away with those twin face. He's kind of trapped out, though. He's blocked by everything. And he will go down in the end. The Hellfire was not helping. He's kind of getting blocked with the heroes. Not able to escape. Magnus will go down. I feel like this is just rinse and repeat, man, by both of these teams, and it is turning out to be in the favor of the Legion team. Bubbles gets away, as well as Tempest in the end, but here we go again. Now it's RPTM's turn. So
it's great for a spectator. They're just
right? Just nothing but non-stop battles here between these two teams. But I mean, you didn't have another 3,600 gold on Monkey King now. He did go the Hellflower route, by the way. The Soul's Bulwark, his Shrunken Head, of course. And he's on his way to his next item. Could be something like that Assassin's Shroud, no, perhaps, but do they have buybacks anymore? Yeah, Magnus is out of buybacks. You see one used by Gemini right there. Tempest jumps in. Pharaoh's going to be caught out. Mummy Wall is up. Nice wall up from Empath, actually. It's going to block Pharaoh, kind of awkward right there. Bubbles with the follow-up. The Legion team kind of hanging around still, as if they want to try to maybe respond right here, and looks like they might be going for the Hellfire's applied to Empath right there. He's going to be chased down. Monkey King finishes her off. Both Bubbles and Gemini fall back. Magnus is going to be up now, though. And I think we're finally going to see the end to all this Chaos Riser.
Yeah, that was a little awkward from the Hellborn team. You could see Gemini just kind of continuing to farm the creeps while Pharaoh was being initiated on. He did not want to go in. Unfortunately, near the end, he felt like he kind of had to, and unfortunately, it was too late. Missed his stun, and then Impact, unfortunately, once again, guys, I'm here, but gets picked off in the end. So yeah, a little miscommunication there from the Hellborn team. Looks like they weren't 100% sure about what they wanted to do as a team at that point. So yeah, it looks like the Legion team, they could have probably still chosen to push there, but opted to just fall back. Monkey King just absolutely dominating this game, continuing to farm 540 gold per minute. So yeah, I think the Genjuro could be good. Maybe he could finish the Demonic, but I kind of would like to see how farmed he is and how easy it is for him to pick off people. I think the Genjuro would be pretty good investment. Yeah,
it's not often you have a Sandwraith who had a good start and he's still having a good game, but the Monkey King is just outshining the Sandwraith even as far as obviously both the farm goes, and you can say impact in these fights getting the damage starts. Now Sandwraith has actually caught up a lot, and for good reason. The Mock of Brilliance, the illusions and everything, it definitely will start to add up as the game progresses on. And speaking of Sandwraith himself, he too has a bit of gold saved up, 3,200 actually. And you can kind of feel that the Hellborn team is perhaps going to start getting a little more desperate now. We do see an Axe on Malphite purchased by Gemini, actually. So he's going to try to bulk up here for these team fights. And I assume that's, of course, going to turn into the eventual Behemoth's Heart here. Going to try to get a catch on the bottom lane. This could be huge, actually, but Monkey King is going to get away just before. And Pharaoh also hiding. So the Hellborn team, again, they need to get some picks here. Magma's actually poured into the top lane. I don't know about that, especially by yourself, unless they're going to respond with you. But the Legion team, though, they actually fall back before anything happens. So I'm not going to get any picks just yet, but Legion team knows that they can play pretty passive here. That they don't need to push it necessarily. They have both a Sand Wraith and a Monkey King, and we're going to probably find out that item very shortly here as far as what Monkey King is going to be going for.
Yeah, he is pulling up a considerable amount of gold. But, ooh, I think we just saw I was kind of sleeping there. I guess I missed Sand Wraith trying to pick someone off. Looks like Bubbles will escape, though. Just barely. It is kind of hard to kill Bubbles as Sand Wraith with the Shell Surf. But, yeah, Sand Wraith Ultimate was used now. I don't really know if there's a whole lot that Hellborn can really capitalize on this with. There's no Kongor available. I mean, the only outer towers are kind of far away. So, unfortunately, not a whole lot of window for the Hellborn team to utilize. And at this point, maybe they just need to wait for the Restoration Zone for Tempest. I mean, he certainly can get, just channel the ult. Pharaoh cancels it. Then if he's during Shrunken Head, he can channel another full one. And that could be kind of their last hope right now, because they are just starting to fall behind. Monkey King actually, I think, just right-clicked a Frostwolf Skull. So,
oh, jeez.
Yeah, I could see that. I kind of don't see that item too often. But yeah, I guess on Monkey King, actually, you do. It's just that kind of like halfway tanky, halfway DPS build. But, oh, Magnus going to stun you. I don't think he was anticipating Monkey King to be here. And he could be in a lot of trouble here. And here we go. Here's the fight.
There's the push out on a Magnus. He tried his darnest, man. The support was somewhat there. Tried to keep him alive. But yeah, it wasn't going to be. And as you said, I'm pretty sure that was just simply bad timing. He jumped in for the creep wave as soon as Monkey King did. And Monkey King won that battle in the end. Of course, got the great initiation from Pharaoh. Now, Gemini does push the top tower in the meantime. Going to try to make the best of this. Magnus, of course, he doesn't have buyback, even though he has the gold. He is out of buyback, so can you blame Gemini? Again, he is going to push into the base right here, just trying to maybe distract the Legion team. And also, if anything, just capitalize here. As far as there's not much that they could do on the defensive end, especially with Magnus being dead. Now, Samuel is going to ultimate. They're going to die big time. Tempest going to be jumped to the background. He will fall. You got Bubbles and Empath completely spreading off one another. Empath only boots is only dead, and the melee Rax is completely exposed. We do see Gemini. He's going to be porting back. Couldn't even get the tower, unfortunately. Magnus still not up for another 15 seconds. So Engineer's not actually here, but is that the biggest deal in the world? Monkey King diving in. Actually, he's being locked down. Monkey King's in a lot of trouble right here, and he is going to fall in the end. And now Samwraith is actually diving a little bit too far. Gemini splitting against Skill and Samwraith. Tempest, the elemental avoiding, gets pushed away by the mummy wall, but it is still being channeled right there. Finally going to stop, but Pharaoh locked down long enough. A hat trick for Guifix. What just happened there?
I think that was the Legion team being really scared of the Tempest buyback with the Elemental Void available and not having the Wrath of the Pharaoh available to cancel it. So yeah, he used it in order to get the initial kill on Tempest, who was Hellflowered at the time by Monkey King. And then when he bought back, the Legion team was kind of in full panic mode. I think they could have still manned up and probably killed the Rax anyway, but it just seemed like a little... They were pretty panicked and some miscommunication as well. So Sandwraith does have buyback, remember. They're going to go and strip this Rax. And Monkey King... this is kind of funny.
I think that was a little out of place.
Yeah, Flux was like, wah, but yeah, this is actually pretty good for the Hellborn. They're just forcing the buyback and then are just going to retreat. Looks like scot-free, so... Tried to use that Engineer Flux combination, but was not to be. The discharge was not available, so that looked kind of funny.
Oops. Miscommunication right there. Coming out, so... Hellborn team, signs of life, man. I mean, I know the stats basically say this continues to be an even game, but no doubt the Legion team, you got to favor them a little bit still. But Gemini, Behemoth's Heart, he has another 2,800 gold saved up, and it's an item that would stand out to me here, something like a Wingbow. I mean, your Savage Mace probably not going to be a thing unless Monkey King maybe wants to go for that next. Samwraith, not usually a Savage Mace candidate, so... And Wingbow just in general could be a powerful item for Mr. Gemini over here. He's bulked up as well already, 3,300 life. And actually, they're going to initiate right here on a Monkey King. Tempest going in as well. The Meteor's put down. Monkey King focusing the melee racks. Gets caught in his own Momulus, actually. Where the hell is Gemini throughout all this? He's pretty low, actually. Queefix may fall. Yes, Queefix will fall in the end. He does have his final buyback. He uses it immediately. The melee racks goes down. Eruption jumping from Magnus right there. But Shrunken Heads are up, so mitigating a lot. Gemini is back, though, tearing down Feral. Samurai in the background, trying to stay alive. Of course, him and Monkey King actually dead currently. It looks like Engineer may be chased down in the process. Gonna use that porta key, kind of juke around. Magnus is gonna find him, though. He doesn't even juke the TP to an extent, but not gonna happen. Samurai also being chased back. What? I don't know, man. I mean, they got the melee racks. They did get the final buyback, but again, another situation here. They're gonna get Kongor most likely. Unless...
Yeah, I think that is the next step for the Hellborn team. It was a good fight selection by the Legion without the Elemental Void being available. But yeah, buyback from Gemini definitely did work there. But I think Legion team's not too disappointed in that. They did get the racks finally, but of course they will sacrifice Kongor here as well. But I think as the game goes on, I think the Monkey King and the Sandwraith are going to continue to get stronger and stronger. Now, if Tempest does, oh, okay, he's not going for the Restoration Stone. He's actually going to get a Bulwark, I guess. So, changed his boots to the Steam boots. He's going to go for mid Bulwark for more tankier build to try and assist more in the team fights with, besides just being the walking ultimate.
I mean, they have a Bulwark, though, on Magnus.
Oh,
so, yeah, I don't...
Huh.
I guess it could ultimately be like a Sacrificial Stone, which... It's not bad against this Legion team. It's just very late, but yeah, I highly doubt it's gonna be Soul's Bulwark.
That would be a little odd.
Yeah.
It is always nice to have at least one person in your team with, you know, the armor buff from the boots or the Sacrificial Stone, but usually this late in the game, it's not a huge priority. Usually if you have, like, you know, a team you want to push and group up, it's quite useful, but I don't think it's really worth it at this stage of the game and how this game is kind of progressed. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's just gonna get a what's it called? Harped armor. Sure.
Yeah, I honestly just haven't. Pinky Curdy, a fantastic game last game on Parasite. I honestly just not haven't been a fan of his item build though this game. It really has been kind of awkward, but in the end, he did get a good Tempest ultimate off that last fight. I mean, and big item pickups are being picked up as a team though. You got Queefix here on Gemini, the Dancing Blade, so into the Wing Bow. As I kind of expected there. That's going to be good for him. Sheep Stick on Bubbles just finished. Another great item there for this Hellborn team.
They're actually, like, their farm actually isn't that bad. 330 on Magnus, 330 on Bubbles.
They're leading overall right now in this game, I mean.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how...
It is.
It seems like their item progression is quite solid, but it just doesn't feel like it should be. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. It's... The stats say this is a very even game. I mean, I still agree with you that you gotta like the Legion team's chances still, especially with that buyback situation and them having the melee racks down now, but oh, this could help. This could help be a window right here. Token Alive, double damage Gemini. They still have that double damage for the 26 seconds, and look at them, jumps inside. They're going right for the middle, right for the melee racks. This is going to be a big chance right here. Look at how fast that drops. The vulnerability engineer goes inside. We got to go in right here. Flux pulls him in right there. And they're backing up. Beautiful energy field. Sarah with his ultimate. Gemini passes the way backer. Oh, the Tempest ultimate. Can they capitalize with this? Gemini focus firing. Tempest will fall at the end, and now Gemini, he's going to start taking his damage. Two players are dead. Gemini splits up right there. He is going to end up falling. Has that token of life, though. Hat-trick coming out right there for Sarah, but now Gemini's back up, going balls to the wall right here. He will Twin Fangs away. Melee Rack stays alive. He's going to use that breath right there to slow him down. Does Fur have an ultimate anytime soon? No, he does not. In about 10 seconds, and Gemini, Spider-Man is going to find him. But he will make his getaway in the end. Gets a haste. Really doesn't increase his speed that much, honestly. Actually runs back in right here. And going right for Sandwraith. Okay, he's going to try to man up here. Barbed arms up and fair. What are you doing?
Good try.
No. I mean... I just don't get that decision at all. I mean... Whether or not you can click the right here, that just didn't make any sense.
Well, he's not a bitch.
Oh, he won. He did try to man mode there, that's for sure. Yeah, that was kind of silly. I mean, whether or not it would have made a difference, but there for the viewers.
Thanks, Gemini. Valuable
Appreciate it.
But yeah, no buybacks available on anyone. They will have 2 players resurrecting very shortly, but I feel like they can probably still man mode this. Maybe not. The other team heroes are staying in the back. Ooh, Magnus ultimate being chained. Here goes the fight.
Sandwraith, though, he canceled the portal key. Pharaoh's going to be coming in. Monkey King is dropping. Monkey King will fall in the process. This is the Game of Thrills, let me tell you, man. Bubbles is going to chase down Pharaoh right here. Barbed Armor is going to be deactivated. He is going to go down now. Both teams just completely diving in and not really working as planned. Pharaoh's going to fall. So we still have game here, even with that Gemini odd choice. He's going to be coming up here in 8 seconds. And he could finish that wing bow by the next fight, and that is going to be a huge item.
Yeah, that was a pretty big opportunity for the Legion team. Well, perhaps, but yeah, I don't know. Sandwraith was exceptionally low, and he was really not available to fight. Did a nice job with the ult, canceling the portal key from Magnus, but yeah, Monkey King, as farmed as he is, even when he's all alone versus all this lockdown, unfortunately does go down in the end, so I'm not sure. They killed Kongor pretty recently, right? So he's probably not going to be up anytime soon. So, yeah, we might just have a bit of a lull here as well, because all the ultimates are going to be up when they respawn, and no token or anything to perhaps entice a team to fight. I think Gemini really wants to finish his wing bow, especially when he's out of buybacks. Spending all that gold as quickly as possible is always very good.
Yeah.
Tempest, by the way, does not have the...
I believe he sold it.
Armor item. Yeah, okay. He's going for the Restoration Stone, which I definitely agree with here.
Yeah. It's going to be a little delayed, though, but hey, with the way this game's going, may end up getting enough time to ultimately get. I'll tell you what, the last fight, going back to at the Legion pace that was, where Gemini, with the token of life and everything, and the double damage, that was Engineer Flux, man. That combination did a lot of work right there. 3 heroes that looked like on the Hellborn side were caught basically on the energy field for a good duration of that fight, and I'm sure they got burned down quickly, so that was a huge part of the fight. And then, obviously, the follow from Sandwraith and Monkey King also too much to handle. Now, Wingbow is finished here by Guifix, playing the Gemini, so has that to work with. 2,600 more gold saved up on Magnus. He's probably trying to get a sheepstick of his own here. Doesn't have buyback to worry about either, so can just invest the gold right away into that. And that'll be their second sheepstick. Monkey King, he's obviously used one of his buybacks, but he still has another 3,000 gold saved up. I did that demonic breastplate. Could of course be a solid option for him, but we'll see if he maybe changes it up. Maybe something like a Savage Mace now, seeing that wing bow.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a very viable option. I think Savage Mace or finishing the demonic would be the best. Actually, yeah, Savage Mace is a little awkward on him, but still, with the wing bow, definitely still worth it. I think Sandwraith's going to be finishing that part, and then after that, yeah, I think even Savage Mace on him could be fine. Just he's kind of tanky enough, got all the defensive items he needs to where he can finally eventually start building for those more aggressive items. And I think Savage Mace, while we don't see it too often, could be kind of odd, but Gemini, I still can't get over how fast he is. Just running
I thought
around.
He had a haste rune, but yeah,
he's invis, roaming through the jungle. Actually, get pulled here by Flux.
No.
Big for them.
Gemini, can he get out of here? He does have the Twin Fangs. Can he use them? He's silenced, I'm sure. He's currently invis. He's still invis. Oh, he will port right there. He can't get away. He's trapped. He's trapped in the corner. Can he get over the ledge? Oh, he gets over the ledge. Monkey King jumps over, though. He is still going to be gone, and he's trying to turn this around. I mean, he's doing some good damage. There's a lot of misses coming out with the evasion. He's living forever, man. Is he still alive? Holy crap. Yeah. So, they clearly, I don't know, oh, that's what it was. They had this Reservoir here this whole time, and Flux obviously gives you the vision against the invis. So as soon as they saw him run next to the Reservoir, they used the Flux ultimate, they spawn it for a good duration, and then disaster.
Game of Thrones. Eddard Stark dies.
Wow! Talk about spoilers, man.
There's a grace period with spoilers. If you haven't seen Season 1, then it's your fault.
That's a good point. 50 seconds resurrection on Gemini, so obviously now the key here for RPTM is you gotta make something happen, don't you? I mean, Gemini's dead, and that's kind of their big big star power over here.
I think it's pretty... Well, I mean, he's a little low, but I feel like this time Sandwraith might be the one in the front. Just smack away at that Rax. And Mag will finish his sheepstick. I don't think Tempest is gonna finish up his item.
He's trying. He sells his
sold his
boots,
boots.
man. he's trying.
Sell the red boots. Not enough.
Will he? Yeah, actually he should,
Yeah.
shouldn't he? You're right. They're gonna lose some other X. You don't really have the opportunity, to be honest. I mean, Farrell's sitting back. Samwraith was the only one up there. It was a tough situation anyway, so.
Yeah.
Huh.
Unfortunate for Gemini, he really kind of got screwed there by that counter ward.
Yeah.
Sucks.
That's, yeah, you can, it's a mix for why he was even doing that in the first place. It's this late in the game. Do you risk just roaming around their jungle, maybe looking I mean, that would have been a big pick-off, sure, but yeah, it obviously didn't work. He got picked off, and all of a sudden we see the bottom melee racks going down as ultimately a result of that. So another bad situation here for the Hellborn team. And you're going to have a next tier of items. There's the Behemoth starting Sandwraith. And Monkey King, he's heading back to base right now. I assume he's going to get his next year. By the way, Monkey King did rebuy his Shrunken Head.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I noticed that he has 9 seconds on his Shrunken Head still, so
That's
he
definitely
must have
good,
rebought it. Yeah.
Kind of forgot about that. Didn't they change that to where it
Yes.
costs less?
It costs more.
Right.
Every
It
charge
sells,
is used
sells
100
for
gold
less.
more. It sells for less, yes.
Oh, okay.
So it's up to 500
Shout
gold
out to
more.
Cinder. Cinder told me that was his change. Good work, Cinder.
Cinder will take credit for that.
He does have 6,200 gold
Yeah.
right now. Now, I guess he is still interested in saving for buyback, so can't really right-click an item. We see Bubbles actually purchased a Slayer, so he figures somebody's got to do the DPS. He's chosen himself as the candidate, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. It's, what more is he going to go for here? He's got a Sheepstick, he's got a Talbot, Boil Key, so at this rate, might as well be a bit of a right-click threat here. Definitely makes sense.
We're getting to that stage of the game where Bubbles right-click, actually, is quite viable. So.
Exactly. Magnus gets the Sheepstick finished. Is that their rev? It is. Okay. I was going to say, he is invis, but doesn't want to make that same mistake his teammate made. Pharaoh does have a bound eye as well, so they got to keep that in mind. 6,900 gold now on Xiao Li playing this Monkey King. Again, this is a 1-0 lead here for Pain Train. If RPTM can pull through, we're going to be going to Game 3. That means, so we'll have to wait and see who's going to move on to the semifinal round. Oh, Congo's up. This is the third Congo, by the way. Gemini is beating away at it. Empath goes inside. Legion team knows, though. They have a little bit of time here. Sandwraith, there's the illusions coming out. Gemini goes in, actually, into the energy field. The pulling for Flux coming out. Is Gemini going to survive through all this? The Tempest ultimate in the background. Who is he killing? Looks like Engineer is going to fall. Who else is going to fall? Those the question. Flux, in the meantime, he'll be into the cannon. He goes on. Another Tempest ultimate locking down the Sandwraith as well as Pharaoh right there. Pharaoh goes down. Gemini's all alive, but the misses coming out against Sandwraith. Sandwraith's tanky, but not tanky enough. Sandwraith goes down. It is Monkey King versus Gemini right here. Empath tries to go with the eruption. Not able to do so, but the Lavaster's stun is going to go back in. He splits up with his dogs right there. There's one stun. There's two stuns. The breath is coming out. He goes back into Gemini. He has Twin Fangs in 4 seconds. Monkey King going back in. Hellfire is applied to Empath. He's bouncing around left to right, doing his Monkey King thing. There's the catch with that Twin Fangs. The auto attacks and down goes Monkey King. Are you kidding me? This game is too much here, Riser. This game is too much.
Crazy team fight. It's like one of the longest team fights I've seen in a long time. But yeah, with 2 racks down, apparently the big comeback. Yeah, that was some great Tempest ultimates. Definitely a big factor in there. I don't know. Once again, I feel like Pharaoh needs to stay out and cancel because he's their only cancel. But yeah, getting caught by both of them is really unfortunate for the Legion team. Yeah, Gemini, man. Showing the power of the Gemini late game. Does a ton of damage and it's so hard to bring down.
Yeah. Well, and the evasion, too, was just huge. I mean, so many misses were coming up there.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially again. I mean, it was a good start for the Legion team. That was definitely a start for them. And Gemini, in fact, jumped into the energy field even, so seemed like it was going to work beautifully for them. They were in the background. I was focusing Gemini a lot, but there's kind of 2 fights going on. The Sandwraith and even the Monkey King especially was in the background on the Hellborn supports, really trying to keep them distracted. But it seemed like they did a good job of playing around that. And
yeah, I think the Legion executed that fight pretty well. I'm pretty sure Monkey King actually stopped Magnus from getting his eruption off, or didn't let him really do anything that whole fight. Unfortunately, Gemini was tearing through everyone else in the meantime. But yeah, it was pretty good Flux Engie combo. I felt like it caught maybe like 2 or 3 heroes even. Can't really ask for much more. But just not to beat the Gemini, especially with Empath in him. Apparently too much to handle.
Now, you see what Monkey King goes right there. He actually goes a Wingbow himself. I think you're right in Savage Mace here now, especially if Gemini sees that pick here. Savage Mace is
especially with the
pretty much has to be it, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Be pretty much perfect timing for just right-clicking that.
He's going back to base right now. We'll see. Now, he won't have a slot for a TP if he does go the Savage Mace here, at least for the time being. Of course, he has a token of life on him, so that's something. That's a big deal. I mean, that's something to keep in mind, really.
Doombringer.
Or just go that.
Joy Bear. Every time.
You know, I always am a fan of Doombringer, man, but I think Savage Mace might have been the better choice here.
Yeah.
As weird as that sounds, I do. The evasion's gonna be difficult, but we'll see. Maybe when he does hit, it will hit hard. Doombringer. I always got to do that. Wait, do we got it queued up? Oh, Panman. Panman's behind today.
It's always interesting to see like the items picked up because of a certain item. Because I think Flux just bought. I don't know if he's gonna buy like a blade mail or a barbed armor anyway, but he just purchased one now. Maybe he saw the Doombringer and it's like, well, I'm getting the barbed armor.
Kind of important, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, barbed armor makes sense regardless of the Doombringer, but perhaps it had something to do with it. I don't know, but yeah, Sandwraith also. I mean, the Legion, their Leaf's not out of it yet. I mean, they have the token. Of course, they're still 2 racks down, and Sandwraith still with 4,400 gold saved up. Monkey King, of course, is a farming machine still. He's got that wingbow and 3,000 gold. Does he have? Yeah, he has a 1 buyback, so probably want to hold on to that. But if not, just go and finish the demonic.
But something else I noticed after last fight is Empath. She's been on red boots for basically this whole game. She actually just got Abyssal Skull because of the gold she got from the last fight.
She has 9 crit kills.
Bound as well, yeah. She's been investing a lot into wards. I mean, she's farming 150 gold per minute, so it's not like horrendous. So, but obviously a lot's been invested into wards. She does have the Bound Out, which I'm sure she purchased. But yeah, she's been on red boots for the longest time. But you know, Empath, hey, you jump inside another hero, you don't have to worry about.
That's actually interesting. Yeah, Gemini had an Abyssal Skull, but I guess he just sold it because Empath got one. So yeah, nice. And they are.
What's that?
Oh, I was saying they are gunning down this middle lane.
Here we go in the background. There's the interview, the Flux combination. Gemini even being slow by it. He's trying to get away. Eruption coming out of the counter. Gemini jumps in the interview, doing a lot of slow right here. Can he get any kills out of it? The bar driver's up. He does not want to attack. He is going to attack in the end. He is going to get a kill. Looks like Feral, they're locking him down. Feral may fall. There goes Gemini. The token of life going to bring him right back up, of course. And look at Flux just fall. Twin Fangs going out. Sandwraith and Monkey King flying around, trying to do the work. There goes Sandwraith being locked down, though, by Gemini. Gemini putting in the auto attacks. Bubbles trying to assist as well. It's not going to see. The bar driver goes up, and they will get the kill. Took a lot of damage. Monkey King trying to finish them out, though. The evasions. Down goes Gemini. Magma stunts in, but a little bit too late. Monkey King just a little too strong. The team as a whole just a little too strong. See the cup or the keg's not going to miss right there. Monkey King going to chase, though. Magnus on the right, and also look at the base, the bottom lane. Heavily being pushed in. Is this the end, Riser? Is this the end?
This could be the end. No buybacks available whatsoever. What happened? Did Tempest just get Flux NG that fight? Because I felt like I didn't even see him that fight. I think he died at the very beginning.
He might have, yeah. He still has his double.
Yeah, I think that was honestly the game changer, because it seemed like without that, and then Magnus Ult kind of just hit a lot of people with Barbed and Shrunken Head Up, because, you know, he had the Shrunken Head Up, and even though he got pulled in, it didn't cancel his ult while he was channeling, but just not a whole lot of damage output and lockdown without that Tempest ultimate. Just very unfortunate for Pinky Curdy. It's actually, speaking from experience, the Flux NG, you might think you're safe, but honestly, the pull-in sometimes is deceptively long. I remember when we played against, gosh, who was it? Insania's team, IG, when we were doing the qualifiers for DreamHack, they had a Flux NG, and my team kept telling me to stay really far back, and I just thought I was far back enough, but sometimes it really just catches you off guard.
Yeah, what is it, 700, I believe? Yeah, 700 units, so.
Yeah, and if you just get on the edge of the NGL, which is actually the worst part, you're just screwed pretty much.
Yeah.
Get that perplex, that's the worst part.
Yeah, it seems like that's been happening throughout this game. Now, as you mentioned, though, Tempest did not get a single ultimate off that fight, too. No doubt a big factor in that. But with that said, they come back up. They do lose a little bit more. But they push back the base. They still save their top racks as well as even the tower. I mean, the secondary tower was even up, so they actually destroyed that first. So they no mega creeps yet, and I don't find myself saying this often, but especially with the way this game is going, even with being down 2 sets
wait,
of racks.
Pharaoh has the Doombringer. We completely forgot about that.
Oh wow, yeah. Kind of just
the Pharaoh Doombringer.
That's another point.
Apparently.
That's kind of another point why Savage Mace might have been a little bit of a choice. But again, it's hard to ever argue against a Doombringer, man. I can't do it. So
It's true.
But yeah, Doombringer on Pharaoh. So that's not the worst deal in the world. I mean, if it was on a Monkey King or the Santa Wraith, then you'd be a lot more worried. So, but he still has it nonetheless. Yeah, I did too. It didn't even hit me until you just
It's kind
said
of
that.
funny. Man, he can do work now.
Yeah, he's so hard.
Sure, he could solo
419.
Almost everybody. With that
He's the hardest hitter in the game right now. So his base damage.
He's a lot of life right now. He's super farmed.
Yeah, he's got a sheep stick. 2,300 life.
Doombringer.
So many barbed armors. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Engineer's
Jesus,
like, I want one too.
Nice.
Wow. Gemini, that's not good. He's
King just got something. Oh, he got the full demonic. Okay.
Yep.
Doesn't have buyback though now, so it might be wise for them to farm buyback before they fight. But
oh no, oh no.
Sometimes wise is not heroes of New Earth.
Gemini.
Oh, he won.
You wanted to.
Gemini's pissed. He's just running in.
Going. He does buy a Warhammer, so I think it's safe to say he's gonna be going for that Savage Mace now.
Yeah, his inventory just looks so empty after that.
I know. It is actually, yeah. Hey, Kongor has got to be up shortly. Maybe another token is in the works. Let's see. Looks like the other series might be done. Beef joining the game.
We're only on game 2, baby.
I know, right? We're possibly even going to game 3 at this rate. So
yeah.
This has been the Game of Throws, though.
Caitlyn, just kidding.
Anything from season 2 you want to do?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. Only in the chat when I'm anonymous.
People don't actually know. Typical internet troll.
Yeah.
Alright, so top lane. Can have a standoff here. Monkey King off in the forest. What? Oh, saw somebody blinked in. That was Blackbirds, though. Gemini, Warhammer, 1,600 gold saved up, so not going to be having a Savage Mace here in this fight, unfortunately. And yeah, his inventory is a lot more naked, isn't it, after the Doombringer drop. But you saved. I wonder if you're Gemini here. I mean, at the same time, Pharaoh's going to be sitting in the background. He's probably still going to be the and I'm going to stop the Tempest ultimate kind of deal. But if he goes up there quickly,
YOLO with that Doombringer.
Yeah, that's a risk though. I mean, Gemini.
I mean, a lot of times we haven't seen him bothering to cancel it.
True.
I think the last fight, just Tempest dying so early might have been a big factor in why we didn't see those ultimates. Because usually Pharaoh's just like, screw it, I'm going in.
Yeah. This is a very tense game right here.
Yeah, Empath ulti actually just got used, and it's only 5 seconds left, so...
Wow.
Not going to be seeing that for 30... Oh, it's only 30 seconds, wow.
Yep.
But still, Legion team noticed that. They could be making a play.
Oh, there's support back. There's a puller from Gemini. Gemini trying to run away. The Flux puller right there. Eruption going off, though. Again, shrugging at barbed armors all over the place. Monkey King in the background, beating on a Tempest. He will fall. Again, Tempest not really doing much. He did try to get a second one off, but not going to matter. Hat trick coming out, and I think the game is actually going to be over here. Here's the vote to concede. GG, well played. What a game. What a game. Wow. All right. So we got a game number 3 coming at us as a result of that. It was, I don't know if there's really much else to say, man, as far as how that one went. And just,
it was a fun one to watch.
Yeah, no, it was a fun one to watch, that's for sure, but a lot of just back and forth and some scratch your head moment decisions. I mean, it's including that one where Gemini, he's 1v3 running away.
Oh, the YOLO one.
He's like, you know what? Let's do this.
That was great.
I don't get it.
I'm already in diamond. Fuck it.
Yeah. We're getting diamond anyways. Let's just see if I can make this happen. Well, it didn't work in the end, so again, we have a game number 3 coming at you, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be fun. So, going to be going to a short break here in just a couple seconds, and then we'll be coming back with that third game, and obviously want to get this one started as soon as possible because with how we're looking at the time right now, it's actually supposed to be getting into the next round time frame. So, but of course, especially with us being this late in the tournament, we're not going to be starting that just yet. But if that's a song to come, I'm excited. It is, of course it is. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Going to take a short break right here. Enjoy this great song coming at you. Game number 3, just around the corner.